You know what, Sam?
What?
We're finally home again.
Yes, we are. All right, we're back with another episode of the Caniac Report. And yes, Sam, we are finally home after a long Canadian successful road trip. Sam, that was an amazing road trip. We will be talking about two games, the Vancouver game and the Boston game. We are recording most of this before the Boston game. So when you hear the recap of that, you'll hear us uh, maybe a little bit hoarse because we're recapping that right after the game. So we like to be proactive, but Sam, aren't you happy we're back at home?
It's always good to be home. It's good to be back at Lenovo Center, and let's get the show on the road.
Yes, let's do. First things first is we have a link for donations. So if you want to uh, give to our podcast, there's a link for that in both our YouTube and our traditional podcast descriptions. And another thing too, that's going to be coming up on Monday is we have a new guest, and Sam knows about it. I know
Yep.
about it. It's going to be very fun. Um, I'm just going to leave it at that because really want to surprise you guys. It's a pretty big guest, I would say. Wouldn't you say so, Sam?
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. So you'll all enjoy that. For once, you won't see me doing this. It'll be Mr. Wallace over there doing it. So uh, I think y'all enjoy it.
Yes, it's going to be very fun. It's going to be very interesting because little sneak peek, he makes jerseys. So it's going to be fun. Can't wait. And that's pretty much it for podcast stuff. Okay, so actually, we just kind of thought of this on the fly here, but we are going to be having a giveaway opportunity, and that is going to be on Tuesday, which is, of course, it's election night,
Yep.
but it's
And if you
against the
haven't voted,
Philadelphia.
go vote. Sam and I advocate for voting.
Yes, we do. But it's against Philadelphia. Again, it is on election night, but that is our first giveaway game. And Sam, what's the
Yep.
instructions that
So this
they
is
need
the
to do?
instructions. I'm going to make it simple because Sam and I believe you should vote. All you need to do is text us. You not text us, but you can DM us on any of our platforms, send us an email, whatever, and just send us a picture of your I voted sticker. That's it. Show how patriotic you are, and you'll be entered into a giveaway. You have until we'll go noon on election day. Noon on election day. I do not work that day, so I can make sure the tickets are given out and doled out by game time. And it'll come with 2 tickets and a parking pass. Again, all you have to do, send us a picture of your I voted sticker, whether you voted on election day or voted early, but we'll stick with the theme of the day, which is election night in America. So if you'd rather not be so stressed out about whether whoever wins, instead you want to go watch the Hurricanes and yell at that, this is an opportunity for you to do so. Again, just send us a picture of your I voted sticker. You'll be automatically entered in. We'll do a drawing, and the winner will get to go see the Hurricanes versus the Philadelphia Flyers and get to see Matvei Michkov for the first time.
Yes, so that's exciting because Michkov has been doing very good for Philadelphia despite the team themselves not doing as good, Sam. So probably a good chance Hurricanes are winning. Again, no guarantees, but good chance the Hurricanes could win
Yep.
on election night against Philadelphia. And that's pretty much it for podcast stuff, Sam. A couple of NHL stuff what did come out. One of them was Jake McCabe. He signed a 5-year extension at 4.51 million dollar contract. And that is the type of contract that Seth Jarvis kind of got because some of that money was deferred. It's
Look,
interesting these players are getting deferred money.
yeah, look, it's going to work. Toronto needs defensemen, so to lock up a defensive guy is important for them.
Yes, it is. And I actually forgot he played on Toronto. But Toronto
I'm pretty
actually
sure he's with Toronto, is he not?
I could be wrong,
I thought it was
but
Toronto.
yes, it is Toronto. He is playing with
Okay.
Toronto. Yep. Which means that they've made some pretty big news because they also pulled off a trade, Sam. They traded
Yep.
Timothy Liljegren to San
Lilligren.
Jose, or Liljegren.
Lilligren. Lilligren.
Liljegren. Sorry. Um, man, I'm so bad with pronouncing names. But they traded him to San Jose. Toronto gets Matt Benning, who's I think is a good top six right-handed defenseman, and a third round and a sixth round pick. The third round pick is for 2025. The sixth round pick is 2026. And Sam, honestly, I think this is a trade that maybe both teams could win, even though I like what San Jose is getting. They're getting a young defenseman that could be a top four defenseman.
Yeah, no, it'll work. It might work out for him. I actually like Timothy Liljegren, so I think that's a good deal. I actually wouldn't have been upset if that was a move we pulled in the offseason, depending on the needs. I think he's a solid player. So good luck to him in San Jose. He's going to go to a place where he's going to play, and he's going to play a lot because they just don't have. It's an anyone going to San Jose that's looking to prove themselves. They're getting an opportunity, so good for him.
Yes, and I think what San Jose is doing is actually smart. The general manager, I believe his name is Mike Greer. I could be
Mike
wrong.
Greer. Yep. He is actually the brother of the general manager of the Dolphins.
Yeah, so he comes from a family of executives, but I think
Yep.
so far what he's been doing is pretty good. I mean, Sam, he picked up Askarov. If you remember that trade, he's picking up young players, which I think is
Yep.
good. You
Young
need to have
players,
that
high potential.
competition.
Young players, high potential is what you got to do.
Yes, and obviously San Jose's dealing with some adversity because Macklin Celebrini is hurt. But news today, Sam, he's back on the
Uh,
ice, but his future, well, not future, but his time to be in a game is still unknown. So hopefully
yep.
they get him healthy, Sam. He is their core piece. Macklin Celebrini is.
Yes. He needs to play. They are lost without that kind of talent. So they need talent, and he's their best player.
Yes. Yeah, he is definitely one of their best players. But they have lots of young good players. William Eklund is good, and they also have. I mean, their defense is okay. Obviously, they drafted Sam Dickinson this past draft. I a little bit know San Jose a little bit, but it's because I'm playing them right now. My NHL 24 game, so
Oh, there you go.
yeah, that's why I a little bit know about San Jose's players and prospects. But that's pretty much it for NHL news. Now we are actually going to get to one of our sponsors. I know one of the most exciting things about Black Friday is a laptop that I can get $250 off. That's something I don't normally get. Except with Raycon, because with Raycon, you get an amazing deal on premium audio every day of the year, but that doesn't mean they're not having any sales for Black Friday. Far from it. They're actually doubling down on their amazing value by offering my viewers up to 30% site wide. For example, they now feature a 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with two devices at once, especially if you haven't checked out their latest model, which includes plenty of new features that make them even more of a must-have for any audio lover. It's time to save big for Black Friday. Go to buyraycon.com/THPN today to get up to 30% off site wide. That's right, you'll get up to 30% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/THPN. Okay, Sam, now let's get to some hurricanes news here. We have quite a bit, actually. Cause but we're gonna start with some funny stuff, okay? Because we realize something bad has kind of happened with our goaltending,
Yep.
obviously. But we'll get to that. But let's start with some fun stuff. I do want to say that I thought it was an extremely funny story that we all got to see of the story of the crazy trip the Hurricanes made from Seattle to Vancouver. That made me laugh so hard, Sam. The
Yeah.
fact that Brent Burns was ordering McDonald's and he had to get someone to drive to go to the drive-through because he tried to get through the drive-through by just standing at the drive-through, but that didn't really work for him.
No, that was.
I mean, Sam, just imagine you're a McDonald's worker and you see this big guy with a big mustache and beard saying, "I need to get some McDonald's."
You see, it's not that I would be if I'm the driver of the car that he stopped to ask to go through. That's where I would have been like, okay. So that's just that was funny. That was lighthearted. That was funny, and he denied the story too, which was kind of funny.
Oh, did he really deny the story? I didn't
I
see that.
I think he denied it, but he had a big smile on his face, so you know.
Yeah, yeah, he's probably like, I don't want to speak about that. But that's
Probably.
funny. I mean, us fans enjoy stuff like that.
Yeah, it's always fun to see stuff like that.
It really is. So that was just a funny story. I just wanted to comment on that. And another thing too, I thought this was amazing, Sam, but obviously Western North Carolina has been hugely impacted by the hurricane.
Yep.
And what the Hurricanes have done actually is they donated $50,000 to help rebuild the outdoor hockey rink. And the Hurricanes Foundation will match 25,000 when the league's GoFundMe reaches 25,000. I think it's awesome. The Hurricanes are trying to obviously help the community over in western part of North Carolina. Sam.
Yeah, it's great to see the community coming together like that.
Yes, it really is. I'm very happy that the Hurricanes are actually doing that type of stuff. Another thing too is this actually came out today, Sam, is Jackson Blake gets confirmation from his own dad that he is permanently staying on the Hurricanes. I think that is one of the worst kept secrets right now just because of how well he is playing. But I think it's awesome because his dad is a former NHLer and Jason Blake,
Yeah.
and he's able to give that information to his son, saying, "Son, you're staying in the NHL." And his son's like, "Duh, I have 4 points in 8 games."
Yeah, look, I love it. It's always good to see a rookie make the team, and he's earned it, and that's really what matters is that he came and earned the opportunity.
Yes, he did. I mean, this was not a spot that was going to be given to him just because of the competition that
Yeah.
he had to go to get this spot. Like he had to fight against Bradley Nadeau, Felix Ungersorum,
Yep.
I guess to some extent Gleb Trikazov, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? To get that spot, and he was able to do that. And he's proven it just because he has such elite skating ability. He has good passing, and I think he has a good shot too. I don't think his potential is as high as the Ungersorums or Nadeaus of the world, but he's definitely, I think, the most NHL ready.
Yeah, I think so too. And he's played like it. So I absolutely love that, and I want to see him play more, and I can't wait to see him play tonight.
Yeah, I know it's going to be fun. You think he's going to eventually maybe be in the top 6 maybe?
I think it's possible just because we have a spot open on the top 6 that it gets fluid. So I mean, yeah, it's possible he plays in the second line, maybe even the first line, depending on what's going on. Again, it's more like we have 5 top 6 players. So there's like that one spot that people could rotate in and out on. That's on that second line, maybe the first line, depending on how Rod shuffles it.
Yeah. And speaking of our prospects, actually, I saw on, I believe ESPN released their top 100 prospects throughout the whole league. 2 of our players were on it. Now, obviously Blake made it to the NHL, so he's not really considered a prospect anymore.
Yep. Yep.
But at number 3 was Alexander Nikishkin,
Oh
which
yeah.
is amazing.
Like that's news to anybody.
No, it's not news. And then number 44 is Bradley Nadeau. So nice to see
Okay, cool.
Nadeau on there, actually, because that gives me hopes that he can be a good goal scorer for us.
Yeah, absolutely. You need that.
Yes, definitely. And now let's get to the bad news, Sam.
Do
This
we
was
have to?
always, yes, we do. This was also released today. Now, obviously, we knew he was nicked up. And because of that, we called up Spencer Martin.
Yeah.
And and not only did we call him up, we also at the end of the road trip, which doesn't surprise me, we sent Ty Smith down back to Chicago.
They did
But
so they did that because one, Freddie Andersen's hurt because he's made of glass. And two, the reason they did that transaction is because it allows us to accrue cap space because we have the cap space to do Spencer Martin and Ty Smith. But if you send Ty Smith down, you continue to accrue cap space, which is what the organization wants to do.
yes, exactly. And it was released today by Walt Ruff, Corey Lavalette. I saw Corey Lavallette's post first, but Andersen is out week to week per Rod Brindamore. And Sam, when I saw he was out week to week, I mean, while he's made of glass, it seemed like the news before that was something minor. But with it being week to week, seems like it's going to be a while.
Yeah, we're looking at maybe again, it could just be a week, it could be two, it could be up to a month. You don't know. It's whatever the issue is, but it's just we'll see what happens. I hope he gets better. He's had a heck of a start to the season, but you know what? It's Kochekhov's time to shine, and he needs to take the reins. This is his opportunity to not only be the guy, but to take that crease and make it his own. He can make that crease his.
He,
And then they won't look back, right? So, but if he gives them reason to doubt, you don't know.
yeah, you really don't. And I mean, to me, seeing Anderson hurt, I mean, I thought that hurt just seeing him that he's out,
Yeah.
obviously, because while I think this is the time for Kochekov to shine, we don't know. There's no guarantee he's going to shine
No.
because we saw in the Vancouver game, which we'll get to, he was all over the place, and so
Well,
I
I
was
didn't get to
I
watch
have
the game.
no, you didn't. You only saw the first period, but I have guarded optimism when it comes to Kochekov because he can, at times, he can be a very bad goalie, but at times, he can be like a freaking, I'll say almost a Shesterkin like level goaltender because he can be that good. It's what Kochekov can we get? And it's very hard when the Kochekov that we get is moments by moments. It's not really by game with him. But it does show, I think, with Kochekov from Vancouver's game that he fights.
Yep.
He fights for his confidence.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that Vancouver game here after a couple of our sponsors, Sam. The quest for the Stanley Cup starts now. The puck's dropping on the 24-25 season. Get in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you are new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice.
What gets me excited about watching hockey is the fast-paced nature of the sport. Woo! Yes, that was Sam Driscoll, our other co-host that you heard. In fact, that is what got me sold when one of the first batch of games I watched was Game 7 between the Hurricanes and the Oilers back in 2006. Now, when it comes to going to Hurricane games, I am able to see quite a few great deals I'd like to go to in the future using the Game Time app. One of its features that I like to use are the seat views because it helps me visualize what I will be seeing when I'm sitting in that particular seat. Another key feature I like is the all in pricing that shows your total upfront cost with no surprise fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. It is game time, Sam. It will soon be game time, actual game time for us.
I said Sam and I are going to quickly run through Vancouver, and then we're going to quickly run to PNC Arena because we want to watch Carolina smack down Boston. At least we hope we're going to smack down Boston. So either we're going to be really happy when we come back or really sad. So we'll see.
Well, Boston hasn't been playing so good, so hopefully the Hurricanes extend their 4-game winning streak tonight.
Yes.
So part of how they got to 4 games is the Vancouver game. And that Vancouver game, I mean, you actually got to saw quite a few goals in that first period, Sam. We got to see William Carrier score his first goal. To me, that's something Lankinen should have had. Actually.
Yeah, it wasn't the biggest slap shot I've ever seen a player give, but he tucked it right in the top corner and beat Lankinen. He probably wants it back. Reminds me a little bit of the Kucherov goal scored against Andersen in Game 1 of the season for us. Again, it's a one-timer, but it wasn't exactly, a blistering one-timer.
No, it wasn't. And the fact that he didn't really have a screen in front of him, I mean, that rests on the goalie almost entirely.
Yes.
Yeah, you just cannot let that go in. But you know what? Hurricanes need some goals, and Carrier was able to get his first goal as a Hurricane, 1-0. Sam, we're happy so far. And we kind of had some tempered expectations heading into Vancouver because they're a very good team.
Yeah,
they really are. But Vancouver shows how good they are. They tie it with Brock Besser scoring. And that was a goal I think Kochetkov probably needed to have, and Kochetkov played that game. I thought probably the first 10 minutes he was a little bit shaky because not only did Brock Besser score, Sam, Vancouver scored again. It was 2-on-1, but offsides, if you remember.
Yep, we got lucky there. That was a bad goal that Kochetkov allowed. Was that second one was really bad, but we got fortunate. They were offsides, and Carolina takes the lead after that. So we not only did we get away with that with a bad goal from a goalie, we scored to take the lead, and that was the big momentum shift right there for the organization for the team.
Yes, it was. And Sam, a player that's been hot right now this month, Netcha scores to make it 2-1 for the Hurricanes. Really, I mean, I thought it was an average goal. Obviously, Netchus is coming in and he shoots it. It wasn't anything spectacular like the Jarvis goal against Seattle or anything, but it was a good goal, 2-1. And then that's when you go to bed, pretty much, right, Sam?
Yeah, I had to work the next day, so
I didn't have to, so that's why I was able to watch the game.
So I'll let you talk about it, and I'll just sit here and marvel at your ability to describe it.
Okay. For those who aren't watching, I just did some funny impression there. But second period starts between Vancouver and Carolina. Carolina is obviously leading 2-1, and you have Jack Roslovic scoring from Brent Burns and Svechnikov.
Mm-hmm.
And Roslovic, he's been impressing me too. I thought probably the first couple games he probably need to get used to playing Hurricanes hockey. But after that, I mean, he has 4 goals right now in 8 games, Sam. Roslovic is doing pretty good. And he's able to somewhat solidify the lead, making it 3-1. And Brent Burns gets an assist, so that's good. We need Burns to get points.
Yep.
I think we're seeing more of the defensive side of Burns so far, not really the offensive.
Yep.
But good, he gets a point. So that's 3-1 heading into the third period. And that third period, Sam, Canes were not good. And honestly, I would say the Hurricane Vancouver started to get momentum probably about the halfway point in the second period, the last half of the period specifically. And in that third period, Quinn Hughes scores. That's something Kochetkov needs to have. He scores far wide from the point, and it's something Kochetkov needs to have. It goes off of his blocker and in. You can't have that. So Kochetkov kind of should have stopped that puck. And then came the point where I don't know if you saw, but he tried to make a desperate move for the puck as it was coming toward him. And while he was able to bail himself out while trying to get back to the net, because he was leaving the net wide open to go after the puck, eventually it bites him, and it's P.U. Sutter that ties the game. And that made me mad because I was like, this isn't a team like this isn't like the game against Ottawa last year, if you remember. You can't be afford to doing that. You kind of need to read the game anyways, I would say, because during that time, Vancouver was really putting it on Carolina. So it's not really a good time to do that. And I believe we did have one of our players coming close to knocking the puck away. So really not happy with Kochetkov. That game allowed in quite a few bad goals, but Sam, he is going to be a starter for quite some time. So hopefully he can rise to the occasion against Boston tonight. But regardless, the Vancouver game, it's tied up. It heads into overtime. And then we might have a new overtime winner, Sam. We might. It used to be Netris. And it seems like Sebastian Aho was liking.
Hey, but it's Aho, Natchez, and Gostisbehere. It's that trio that has ended it twice. So you know what? Put them on the ice. Let them go. Let them work their magic. Jeff Mann loves to say he loves watching Natchez and Aho in overtime. I agree. It's fun. Now, I don't want to see it tonight because I want to win a regulation because we're going up against an Eastern Conference team. So, but yes, that trio has been elite.
Yes, and how Aho got the puck again, amazing pass from Gostisbehere. The same, it wasn't the exact same play, but if you remember the first overtime game winner against Edmonton this season, that it started with an elite pass from Gostisbehere.
Yep.
And he has been playing just freaking fantastic. Sam, don't we have a friend who named their dog recently after Gostisbehere?
Oh yeah, that was funny. You should go follow our buddy over at the Warning Take.
Yes, you really should. But Carolina wins it. It's 4-3 in overtime.
You ready to go watch a hockey game, Sam?
Yes, I am. But that Vancouver game though, we should have won that in regulation, Sam, because we were up 3-1.
Look,
but
I don't care how you win. Yeah, but it doesn't matter how you win when it's a Western Conference team, as long as you win. Right? It doesn't matter. You give away a point to a team that you don't have to worry about fighting for a playoff spot.
True, but again, sometimes it matters how you win. Sometimes it's how you win.
Well, hopefully
I know Brendan Moore.
I
know Brendan Moore. Yeah, I know Brendan Moore is concerned of how Hurricanes win because he's all about the process. You know how he is.
Yeah, I do. But you know what, Sam? I'm ready to go to a hockey game. Are you?
Yes, I am. And you're going to hear the Boston recap now. Okay, Sam. Wow. What a game that was against Boston.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
We throttled them, thumped them, crushed them. For every Hurricanes fan who's had to put up with one of the worst fan bases in the National Hockey League, this was for every other fan base who's had to put up with that team, with that fan base. A total team effort tonight, totally dominant 8-2 victory against one of the most hated organizations in the National Hockey League, the Boston Bruins.
Well, as specifically, also for Hurricanes fans too. If you're to talk to like almost any Hurricanes fan, Boston's probably one of the most hated teams just because of the history there, especially with them eliminating us like not once, but I believe twice
Yep.
in the playoffs. That really is what started it. This whole hatred of Hurricanes fans against Boston. That's how it all started. But Sam, in the first period, we have Jack Roslovic scoring from Aho and Svetch. Roslovic is on a tear. He
Yeah.
scores 2 goals in this game.
2 goals in this game, 6 on the season. Dude is just he's having a year.
Yeah, he really is. And it's kind of a little bit of a weird stat sort of the way because he doesn't have any assists. They're all goals.
He's got 6 goals, 0 assists. Hey, you know what? If I told you in the car, if the dude scores 30 goals this year, sign him. I mean, you can't keep letting guys who can put the puck in the net and play with Aho walk.
I agree, and he's probably affordable too. I would think just because the Hurricanes could easily say, "Hey, listen, you had a great season this year, but your history doesn't really resemble that." So they could probably give him a pretty decent deal that he could agree to. I think the thing that's really popping with Roslovic is just the chemistry that he's having with Aho and Svetch. And I thought that was the best line, actually, tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought they played really, 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 really well. It was he played great. Svetch Fate played great. When Aho's the worst player on a line, that tells you just how good that line did tonight, right? Svetch had 2 goals, and then I think assist, and you had Roslovic with 2. I don't know. I think Aho had an assist tonight. I mean,
Yes,
that whole line got contributed tonight, and that's just what you want. You want that every single night, and you want to be able to, your top guys need to do stuff like that. Now, I don't expect 8 goals every night, but I expect that effort every night.
Yes, I do too. And I mean, I was thinking about like that effort Carolina's been bringing this season. Like it's been great. And I would say sometimes in order to bring that effort, I'm not saying that you need a mass exodus for like we had this offseason with all these players leaving, but
Yeah.
sometimes that can fuel that work ethic, you know?
Yep.
Like if you're on the Hurricanes team and you're seeing these players leaving, you're like, oh, I need to step up. There's some pressure on me, but I need to step up. And I think that's what we're seeing from these players. And I mean, in that first period, I mean, obviously, you have Brad Marchand scoring on the 5-on-3 power play. I mean, officials, they weren't a problem for me tonight, except for the one call, which was the unsportsmanlike conduct on Brendan Moore. I did not like that because he's been saying stuff like that multiple games, and you're now just calling that out. That's my only issue.
Yeah, that was a bit bizarre. I don't understand that. But I mean, at that point, they called a bunch for them, then they called a bunch for us, and it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, are they gonna swallow the whistles? Or are they gonna literally call everything? And it felt like they called everything. I think there were we had 5 power plays. I think they had 4, so it's like 9 penalties. So it's like we played like a whole period on or like a whole period worth of penalty minutes were called, so like 20.
Yes, and I would say they probably relaxed their whistles just a bit in the definitely in the third period, but they started to in the second period. But Sam, I mean, after Brad Marchand scores, that's where we just pumped our gears up to like from 10 to 11 as we get 3 goals in 56 seconds. Yes, obviously Svetch. You have Orlov scoring. That's good. I thought that was a goal from Blake, but it wasn't. Either way, Blake has been playing amazing. Great to see Blake.
Speaking of the thing on Brendan Moore, by the way, I got the tweet from Corey. Brendan Moore said usually the refs give him a warning. They didn't tonight, hence the penalty.
Yeah, see, that's a problem right there with the refs. They didn't give him a warning.
So they were
be consistent. you know?
Yeah. So this reffing crew, I guess, was a little thin-skinned.
Yeah, well, you gotta be consistent. Like, I'm sorry, you just have to. But Orlov scores, and then you have Netris scoring. Sam, this was a 4-point night for Martin Netris. He has 15 points in 9 games.
Dude's having a heck of a season. Again, sign him at the end of the season. He has a good year, extend him. Give him the long-term deal because you cannot keep letting guys like this leave.
No, you can't.
It doesn't look good. It starts to look like you don't care about skill, and I've been saying that now for a while. But sign him. Prove that you want guys like that on the roster who are just purely offensively gifted.
Yeah, and I do agree that we need to focus on re-signing him once this season ends.
Yeah, he's the number one priority in my mind next season. This
Yes.
coming off season, that's number one. You have no other like huge names you got to deal with. You could consider, I guess, Orlov and Burns, but I don't think they're back. So they walk because you've got in-house replacements for those guys. I mean, there's no other big name player I can think of that really matters this offseason. So if you can get Nature's done, get him done. And I would say if you can get Roslovic an extension, if he's playing like this in January, extend him too before it even gets to the end of the year.
Yes, and now I think the contracts should be different between Roslovic and Netris.
Oh yeah,
Because if you're going to extend Netris, I think it should be a long-term type of thing.
yeah. If
with
you
him.
extend Roslovic,
But you can't give
4 or
you
5
can't
years.
Yeah. The thing is, you just can't give every player long-term extensions, or else, to me, you're like Lou Lamoriello, who's the general manager of the Islanders. But
Yeah, but I would give Nature's 8 years.
I would too, and I think we've kind of, I would say, probably established our 4 core forwards when it comes to Aho, Svetch, Jarvis, and Netris.
Yeah, and you got to lock him up, and then you're going to have your defensive core and Chatfield, Slavin, Nation, probably, and Morrow. Probably those 4 guys are your core for a long. They're going to be your core for a long time. That is your core 4 group on defense and your core 4 on forwards, and those players are going to. They're going to have some really good seasons with this team.
Yes, they are. And in the second period, Svechnikov scores. Jack Roslovic scores again. You had Hampus Lindholm scoring from Boston. And that does bring up, I think, another point. Kachekov obviously started tonight. No surprise there with Andersen being out.
He'll probably play Sunday too.
Yeah, and I mean, the 2 goals that Boston scored, I don't really blame those 2 goals on him, to be honest. The first goal I don't think should have happened. One, because I don't think the Hurricanes should have been put in that situation because of misconduct penalty, but it was also off of Slavin's legs. So you could call that luck, but at the same time, I do still believe you have to work for your lucks, meaning that, well, you have to put the shot off anyways. You know,
I mean,
if it goes off of the leg or not, it's a goal.
Both teams got goals like that, so it's a wash.
It is, and yeah, Netris did score with off the skate of, I can't remember the Boston player's name, but
I don't know who it is either.
But it was just amazing. And then, Sam, we get first goals from 2 players tonight, and that happened in the third period. Sean Walker, who to me has a little bit of Slavin in him. I'm not saying he's as good as Slavin, but he does a lot of the small things correctly. And I would say that if you're not noticeable and you're playing on defense, you're doing something right.
Yeah,
because he's not a flashy player.
No, and that's good. That's what you want. It's kind of like Brett Pesci.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I would say Brett Pesci's more of a resemblance to him than probably Slavin.
Yeah, and Walker's got a better shot,
and is a better skater too.
Yeah,
he really is.
Yeah, it's
Pesci was slow.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out pretty well for this group. On the blue
yep,
line.
the Ghost Walker line on Halloween Eve. We spooked.
All Hallows Eve is what it's called.
All Hallows Eve, whatever.
Yeah. Halloween, All Hallows Eve.
I was never good in English.
Yeah.
But
It was a Halloween horror night for the Boston Bruins. Sent them packing. Chased
Yep.
Swayman out of the building. He got replaced by Corpusalo, so it was fun to watch. It's always fun when you chase a goalie out of the net, and that's what they did.
Yes, that is what they did. And then, Sam, I know you were really happy when this player got his first goal, and that was KK. And
Yes.
I'll admit, I think KK has been playing a lot better at the season, and I'm happy he got a goal.
Yeah.
Yep. My measurement for him is good. You got your first goal. Let's build off of that. I still think he's playing good, but if you're he's kind of your default second line center, and with him being in that role, I think he probably, regardless, his goals need to go up because of that role. Just a little bit.
Hey, look, again, as long as KK gets 20, I'll be happy. 20 goals, 30,
I'd tolerate
40 assists. That. 20 goals, 30 or 40 assists. I think that's more than reasonable for a second line center, especially if Nate just is piling up the goals. As long as KK's piling up the assists along with it, he's producing, and that's good enough for me.
Yes, true. I'm trying to think of any other points from this game. I guess it was a great game.
It was fun. It was great. We cheered a lot, and I'm tired.
Yeah, I am too, and I have to edit this, but it was a very fun game. We don't see games like this often. I was getting mad toward the end there, as you could tell, Sam, because I was like, I want my 10 goals.
Yeah, you were
and
desperately
to you who
that.
have been listening to this podcast for some time, no, I want my 10 goals, and I didn't get that, Sam.
No, not tonight, but you know what? We play the Sharks at some point this season.
Yes, we do.
So that'll be an opportunity there. Should be an opportunity.
For those who aren't seeing us, I just made a huge smile. So
yes, Sam wants the 10 goals. That's going to be the best chance to get it.
Yes, I do. Well, we will see you guys Monday.